Hey guys, I hope you all had a great Valentine's Day as well as Raid Week. The Lich King encounter has been released for 2 weeks now, and as of the point of this recording, 47 guilds have gotten their feet wet in 25-man hard mode, some more and some less successfully. Another 170 guilds have managed to kill the Lich King this week, which pretty much means hard mode should be in full swing starting tomorrow. What that means for tank squad is that none of our authors managed to get the 25-man version of the Lich King down in the first week of the release, but a couple of us did get him down this week, so we can expect a 25-man hard mode movie starting next week. Also, 2 of us did almost clear the 10-man heroic version of the instance, so 10-man hard mode movies will be up very shortly. As you can see, the first edition of our new shirts has been printed and shipped too. And they're pretty awesome, so if you want to get one for yourself, the link to the shop will be in the movie information box somewhere over there. We did have to take out the lady sizes for now, so they will not be available for a while. Anyway, this week I'll finish off my ICC healing guide with healing tips for the remaining ICC encounters, namely Blood Prince Council, Blood Queen Lanathel, Philippi Dreamwalker, Sindragosa, and the Lich King. In part, I only had 10 men and old raid footage of the encounters available, so don't let that distract you. I am covering the 25-man versions of each encounter.
For Blood Princes, we typically use a healing setup of 6 healers consisting of 1 Holy Paladin, 1 Shaman, 2 Trees, 1 Disc, and 1 Holy Priest. Hots are very useful in this encounter since at times everybody will be so spread out that it will be almost impossible for you to have everybody in range unless you're positioned in the dead center. That's also the reason Holy Priests and 2-degree Shamans are less efficient at this fight than Druids and Paladins have the potential to be. Disc Priests are very useful since most of the outgoing damage is predictable and can be pre-bubbled. The raid should aim to minimize knockbacks from empowered shock vortex and kinetic bombs hitting the ground, since relocating in this fight often leads to death. Tank damage is moderate but does require approximately 2 full-time tank healers. Beacon is amazing on this fight since Valnar and Tal'Darim tanks will be taking consistent damage. Blood Queen Lanathel is a stressful healing fight. There will be significant, consistent raid damage going out at any given time. We also take 6 healers to this fight, typically 2 Trees, 2 Holy Priests, 1 Shaman, and 1 Holy Pally. Shamans, Holy Priests, and Trees all make excellent raid healers for this. Having a good mix of them is recommended. As long as you have a good bite order and your healers can keep up with the outgoing damage, this fight is not overly tough. The toughest issue you'll be faced with is Lanathel's AoE fear followed by Blood Bolt Whirl. We found a good way to deal with it is to have at least 2 or 3 priests in the raid. One is assigned to Divine Hymn the first Blood Bolt Whirl, and another one Divine Hymns on the second Blood Bolt Whirl. Also, one of them fear wards the Shaman in the healing group, so you can time a Tremor Totem to pulse as soon as the fear goes off, and the other one fear wards the priest that's assigned to Divine Hymn. Any leftover fear wards should be used on Trees. Bringing a Disc Priest is definitely worth it if the priest in question is good at raid healing as Disc. Inner raid should be reserved for healers if necessary. Philippi Dreamwalker turns the tables around and your healers decide the encounter while your DPS and tanks play a support role by doing ag control. That doesn't mean you should bring a ton of healers though, because the less damage your raid takes, the faster the battle will be over. That means you want to make sure to avoid any AoE damage that you don't necessarily have to take. We also take 6 healers to this, sometimes 7. Paladins and Druids are best suited for this encounter, but don't fret, the normal mode is not badly tuned, so other classes do a good job as well. The best way to end the encounter quickly is to have your highest single target HPS classes, that means any Holy Paladin you have, then Druids since their hots tick for a long time while in portals, and if you don't have a lot of either of those, Shamans and Priests. Take a portal every time they spawn and to never let their stacks fall off. 2 healers should remain outside the portals to take care of the raid damage. Whenever you pick up an orb, the timer on your buff gets reset to 35 seconds left, so make sure to pick up one last orb right before you leave the Emerald Dream and enter another portal as soon as the next wave spawns. That way your stack should never fall off and you'll quickly stack them to more than 30. At that point, you should have at least 3 to 4 healers that have a 300 increased healing buff or more, which should end the encounter very quickly. Sindragosa is another constant rate damage fight, but it also packs significant tank damage, while at the same time you're often forced to regulate your casting frequency thanks to instability. Again, we typically take 6 healers, 1 tree, 2 holy priests, 2 holy paladins, and a shaman. 7 healers may make this easier if you're having issues. Healing in Phase 1 is fairly straightforward. The entire raid will be taking damage and your main tank will need constant attention, but as long as people watch their debuffs, you shouldn't be faced with any huge damage spikes. Reserve your instant spell cast for Blistering Cold and make sure to pay special attention to the main tank while everyone repositions to their original spots. It's also a good idea to hot anyone that's about to get encased in an ice tomb so they are at full health when asphyxiation starts. There should be little to no healing at all needed during her air phases. Keep in mind that not line of sighting the ice bombs properly will kill you in heroic modes, so normal modes are a good way to practice this. Phase 3 too is mainly about people watching their debuff and resetting their stacks, but you're suddenly faced with line of sight issues as well. Make sure to have vent communication going on so at least 2 healers are always able to heal the tank while others go to reset their stacks. Maybe even set up a rotation so people reset their stacks on every second block. Hots and spells that aren't affected by line of sight, such as POH, are obviously very good in this phase. Make sure to have sufficient instant casts available for tank healing on Blistering Cold. If necessary, have Guardian Spirit or Pain Suppression ready. The best time to use emergency abilities such as Divine Hymn and Tranquility is Phase 3. Also make sure your healers are aware of any impending tank swap. The Lich King is a very varied encounter, but almost all incoming damage is predictable. Again, we take our usual 6 healers to this. 2 Holy Paladins, 1 Tree, 1 Shaman, 1 Holy Priest with Body and Soul, and 1 Disc Priest. The biggest source of damage in Phase 1 is Infest, which has a 2-second cast time and your priest should time Prayer of Healing cast to land right after Infest goes off. Same with the Shaman's Chain Heal. Infest is on a 30-second timer, so your Disc Priest can pre-bubble as he sees fit. Main tank damage will be consistent, but not a threat in this phase. Off-tank damage might be spiky thanks to shambling horrors and raging, so make sure someone tranquilizes them immediately. Body and Soul is very useful for the plague. Put it on the person that gets plagued immediately, so even slow people make it to the shambling horror before it gets dispelled. Phase transitions to the ledge should be called out on vents so everyone is close to the ledge ahead of time and you avoid unnecessary damage taken. On the ledge, spread out into at least 3 camps so pain and suffering damage stays controllable. Raging spirits need to be faced away from raid members. In the third phase, you're faced with Defile, which means your raid members will be more spread out when Infest happens. Make sure to heal up any straggler before the dot goes too big. Also, Body and Soul again is very valuable for people that get Defile cast on them. It's a 2-second cast time, so if you put on them immediately, they can run the Defile to the south or north corner a good ways out of the group before it goes off. Soul Reaper deals a ton of damage, so set up a cooldown rotation ahead of time and make sure vent communication is good. Again, make sure people are close to the ledge when the transition to Phase 4 happens so no one takes excessive remorseless winter damage. Once you're in Phase 5, the worst part is behind you. Keep up the Soul Reaper rotation and make sure that whoever gets Harvest Soul cast on them receives enough healing to survive the channel. Also, the person that gets chosen must interrupt Soul Rip downstairs by any means. Vile spirits might cause some spike damage, so keep an eye on your ranged raid members. Disc Priests may want to pre-bubble them. That's about all the tips I have, so good luck in the second half of Icecrown Citadel.
Yes, I'm wearing colored contacts. I have run out of all of my normal contacts, so I'm not meaning to irritate you. My eyes are brown and That one's violet and that one's blue. So I'm sorry about that, but I would be blind otherwise. I hope you found this helpful in some shape or another, and I wish you a great productive week to come. Good luck with all of your raids and hard mode should you attempt any. Goodbye.